Have you ever told yourself, I might need this someday, or it's too valuable to toss? These little whispers sound harmless, but here's the truth, they are lies. Lies. Clutter tells us to keep us stuck in guilt, stuck in fear, and stuck in homes filled with things that no longer serve us. And you're not alone. So many older women hold on to items for reasons that feel good in the moment, but actually keep their homes heavy and their hearts weighed down. Today, we're exposing those lies. I'll reveal 8 common decluttering lies seniors have believed, and the truths that will finally set you free. Picture this, a senior lady walking slowly through her home. She pauses at the hallway closet, stuffed with coats she hasn't worn in years. She glances at her dresser, crowded with knickknacks and jewelry she hasn't touched in decades. She opens the kitchen drawer, overflowing with utensils she no longer uses. And each time she thinks, I can't let this go. What if I need it someday? What if my children want it? What if I feel guilty later? Every item seems to carry an excuse, a reason, a story, and yet, deep down, she feels exhausted. Not just by the clutter she sees, but by the weight of all those unspoken lies. And science actually backs this up. Researchers tell us that clutter fuels stress by raising cortisol, the stress hormone. It also creates decision fatigue, that tired feeling when your brain has too many choices, too many what ifs. No wonder it feels draining to live among piles of things you don't even use. But here's the gentle reassurance. Decluttering is not about shame, loss, or throwing away your past. It's about reclaiming freedom. It's about clearing the lies so you can finally enjoy the truth that peace, clarity, and joy are waiting on the other side. So, let's begin. Here are the 8 lies clutter whispers to senior ladies, and how to finally break free. Lie 1, I might need it someday. Have you ever held an item in your hands, maybe an old set of sheets, a box of screws, or even a kitchen gadget, and thought to yourself, I'll keep this, just in case? It feels so reasonable, doesn't it? Because what if you do need it one day? What if getting rid of it means regret later? That tiny whisper of someday is powerful. In fact, it's one of the biggest lies clutter uses to keep us stuck. For many older women, the someday pile is everywhere. Extra blankets tucked in closets, old paint cans in the garage, half-broken lamps in the basement. Each item comes with a little promise. Don't get rid of me yet, you might need me. But here's the truth, 9 times out of 10, someday never comes. That slow cooker you haven't touched in 12 years. It won't suddenly become your best friend next winter. Those boxes of buttons or fabric scraps. They aren't making your life better while they sit untouched. And yet, every time you see them, your brain does something sneaky. Psychologists call it decision fatigue. Each object whispers, what if you need me later? And your mind has to process it all over again. That constant mental loop doesn't just take up space in your home, it drains your energy, steals your peace, and makes you feel heavier without realizing why. I once met a lovely woman in her early 70s. Her attic was filled with boxes labeled someday. Old coats for someday winter visitors. Sewing supplies for someday projects. Boxes of electronics for someday repairs. When we sat down together, she sighed and said, every time I walk past those boxes, I feel tired. Not because I touch them, but because I don't. She realized that keeping them wasn't saving her time or money, it was silently costing her both. And when she finally let go of just one box, she said it felt like £100 had been lifted off her shoulders. That's the hidden weight of someday. Here's the reality. If you truly need something in the future, life has a way of providing it. You can borrow it, buy it fresh, or find an alternative. But what you cannot borrow back is peace of mind. You cannot replace the energy and freedom that clutter has been quietly stealing from you for years. So here's the challenge. The next time you hear yourself say, I might need this someday, stop. Ask yourself instead, does this item serve me today? Would I even remember I had this if I needed it? Would I buy this again right now? If the answer is no, then it's not worth the space it's taking in your life. And here's where I want to pause and ask you, how many times have you nodded along to advice like this, thought yes, that's true, but then put the item back down and walked away unchanged? Isn't that the same as leaving those someday boxes untouched? Don't let this video be another someday moment. Take action right now. Pick one item, even something small, and release it. That tiny step is how freedom begins. And if you haven't subscribed yet, isn't that the same trap? Telling yourself I'll do it later. Don't let someday steal this moment. Click subscribe now, because this community is here to walk with you today, not someday. Lie 2, it was expensive, so I can't let it go. Let me ask you something personal. How many items in your home are you keeping not because you love them, but because they were expensive? Maybe it's a leather handbag you rarely use because it's too heavy. Maybe it's a pair of shoes that pinch your toes but cost you a fortune. Maybe it's a blender, a sewing machine, or a coat still hanging in your closet with a price tag on it. Every time you see it, your heart whispers, I can't get rid of it. I paid too much. This is what psychologists call the sunk cost fallacy. It's our brain's way of convincing us that the money we spent in the past should control what we do today. But here's the truth, the money is gone. Keeping that item won't put it back in your wallet. In fact, every time you see it sitting unused, you're not saving the money, you're reliving the guilt of having spent it. And isn't that what's really happening? That pang of guilt. That voice that says, you wasted money, you should have used it, you should have known better. Instead of peace, that expensive item has become a silent reminder of regret. I once spoke with a woman in her late 60s who had a beautiful designer dress hanging in her closet. She bought it 20 years ago for a special occasion, but she never wore it. Why? Because the event came and went, and the dress didn't quite fit the way she wanted. But every time she opened her closet, there it was, gorgeous, untouched, and heavy with guilt. She told me, I feel trapped. I can't let it go because it cost too much. But keeping it makes me feel like a failure. Do you see the trap? The dress wasn't just clutter in her closet, it was clutter in her heart. When she finally donated it to a local charity, she said, I realized peace is worth more than the price I paid. That day, she didn't lose value, she gained it back in the form of freedom. Here's the shift I want you to make. Stop asking, how much did this cost? And start asking, what is this costing me now? Is it costing you peace of mind every time you see it? Is it costing you energy, because your space feels crowded? Is it costing you the joy of wearing and using the items you actually love, because this one takes up the space? The truth is, keeping things out of guilt is the same as paying for them twice, once with money, and again with your peace. So here's my challenge. Go to your closet, your pantry, or your garage, and find just one expensive item you never use. Hold it. Listen to the guilt that comes up. And then ask yourself, am I going to let this item steal my peace for another year? And if you're watching this video right now and thinking, yes, that's me, I've done this, then don't just sit in silence. Comment below and tell me what your expensive regret item is. Because speaking it out loud, naming it, is the first step to breaking free. And before we move to the next lie, let me ask you this. Are you going to treat this video the way you've treated those items? Keep it, think about it, but never act on it. Or will you hit subscribe and start changing today? Don't let this be another too expensive to let go moment. Take the step. Lie 3, my kids or grandkids will want this. Be honest. How many things are you keeping right now because you believe your children or grandchildren will want them one day? It could be a set of china, a box of holiday decorations, stacks of old cookbooks, or even that dresser in the guest room you've been saving for years. Every time you look at it, you whisper, I can't let this go. My kids will want it. But here's the hard truth. Most of the time, they don't. And deep down, you might already know that. This lie comes from a good place. It comes from love. You're not just keeping an item, you're keeping a piece of family history, a way of saying, this mattered to me. Maybe it will matter to you too. But here's what research tells us. Younger generations are valuing experiences over possessions. A recent study showed that millennials and Gen Z overwhelmingly prefer smaller homes, lighter living, and digital keepsakes instead of large collections. That means while you're carefully holding onto boxes of old furniture, dishes, or clothes, your children are quietly thinking, I don't want this burden. And isn't that heartbreaking? You're saving it for them out of love, but for them, it could become stress. I once spoke to a senior woman in her 70s who had saved her entire set of wedding china for her daughter. She wrapped every dish in newspaper, stacked it neatly, and kept it in the basement for 40 years. When she finally offered it to her daughter, do you know what she heard? "Mom, I love you, but I don't want it. I don't even use china." The mother told me she felt crushed. She had been holding onto this set as if it were a treasure chest of memories. But for her daughter, it wasn't a treasure, it was another box to move, another responsibility. In that moment, she realized something. The gift wasn't in keeping the dishes. The real gift was the memories she had shared around that table. Here's the truth. Your kids and grandkids don't want all of your stuff. What they want are few meaningful pieces that truly tell your story. A handwritten recipe card. A favorite photo. 1 or 2 heirlooms they can treasure. Not 20 boxes in the attic. So instead of leaving them with a mountain of stuff, give them the gift of clarity. Choose 1 or 2 items with meaning. Write a note, tell the story, explain why it matters. That way, when they hold it, they're not holding clutter, they're holding legacy. So here's your challenge today. Look at the items you're saving for your children. Ask yourself honestly, would I want to receive this if I were them? And if the answer is no, let it go. Keep only the treasures, not the burden. And let me ask you, are you going to let this video become like those boxes in the attic? Saved for later, but never acted on? Or will you subscribe now, so that every week you get a fresh reminder to release, to breathe, to live lighter? Don't leave this moment for later. Later never comes. Hit subscribe, and let's break free together. Life or, it's too sentimental to toss. This is one of the most powerful lies clutter tells us. You pick up a card from your 40th wedding anniversary, or a souvenir from a trip you took decades ago, and your heart whispers, "I can't let this go, it's too sentimental." And suddenly, the item isn't just paper or trinket, it becomes sacred. A memory keeper. A tether to your past. So you tuck it away in a drawer, then another drawer, then boxes in the closet. And before long, your home is filled with piles of "I can't let this go." Here's the truth. Our brains confuse the memory with the object. We think that if we let go of the item, we're letting go of the person, the love, or the story behind it. But memories don't live in things. They live in you. Science backs this up. Psychologists explain something called symbolic attachment. We assign meaning to an object, so it feels like part of our identity or our relationships. But here's the danger. When everything becomes too sentimental, nothing truly shines. The treasures get buried under the clutter. I once heard about a senior woman who had kept every birthday card her children ever gave her. Hundreds of them. Each one made her smile, but the sheer volume overwhelmed her. When she wanted to revisit her memories, she couldn't even find the special ones because they were lost in piles of too much. One day, her daughter suggested something simple. "Mom, why don't you keep the ones that mean the most and let the rest go?" Together, they sat on the floor, reading through them. She laughed, she cried, she remembered. And when she was done, she chose a small handful, the ones that truly captured her children's love. She let the rest go, guilt-free. And do you know what she said after? "For the first time, I can actually enjoy these memories instead of drowning in them." The truth is, keeping everything doesn't honor your memories, it dilutes them. By choosing fewer, you allow the real treasures to shine. So here's the secret. Create a memory box. Not a basement full of bins. Not a closet full of bags. One small, beautiful box. Inside it, place only the sentimental items that truly move your heart. That way, when you, or your family, open it one day, what they'll find isn't clutter. They'll find love. Now, let me ask you, how many boxes of sentimental papers, souvenirs, or trinkets are hiding in your home right now? 2, 5, maybe more. And here's the question. Are they bringing you peace or guilt? If you felt a twinge of truth just now, that's your sign. And before you move on, let me remind you, watching this video without subscribing is like keeping every sentimental item without choosing. You nod, you agree, but you don't take action. Don't let that be you. Hit subscribe now. And then, join me for Lie 5, I don't have time to declutter, because this one keeps more seniors stuck than almost anything else. Lie 5, I don't have time to declutter. This is one of the most common lies seniors tell themselves, and it's one of the easiest traps to fall into. You glance at that cluttered drawer, that crowded shelf, that overflowing closet, and immediately your mind whispers, I'll do it when I have a free day, maybe next week, maybe next month, maybe when life calms down. But here's the truth, life never really slows down. There's always another appointment, another chore, another responsibility. And the longer you wait, the heavier the clutter feels. The lie of not enough time is powerful because it feels true. Seniors often juggle doctor visits, family obligations, and the everyday energy drain of managing a home. So the idea of pulling everything out, spending hours sorting, and making endless decisions feels impossible. So the clutter waits, and waits, and waits. But here's the reality. Decluttering doesn't demand huge blocks of time. It thrives on small, consistent steps. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. Just one drawer today, just one shelf tomorrow. I once spoke with a retired teacher who confessed she hadn't touched her guest room closet in years. Every time she thought about it, she imagined needing an entire weekend to sort through everything, so she avoided it. Then one morning, she set a timer for just 10 minutes. She told herself, I'll just look at the top shelf. That's all. 10 minutes later, she had a bag of old linens ready to donate. And something surprising happened. She didn't stop. That little win gave her momentum. Within a week, the entire closet was done, not because she found a free weekend, but because she found 10 minutes a day. She said, I wasted years waiting for the perfect time. What I needed was just to start. Psychologists call this the progress principle. Small wins create momentum. Each time you complete a tiny task, your brain releases dopamine, the chemical of motivation and reward. That little burst of satisfaction makes you want to do more. So while you've been telling yourself, I don't have time, the truth is, you don't need time. You just need a few minutes of focus. And here's the kicker. The energy you gain from decluttering often gives you more time back. Suddenly, you're not wasting 15 minutes looking for your keys or digging through piles for a bill. That reclaimed time adds up. Now, let me ask you honestly, how many times have you looked at your clutter and said, I'll do it later? And how many months, or years, has that promise been sitting there, unfulfilled? Here's the hard truth. Later is a lie. Later never comes. But 5 minutes. 5 minutes is always possible. So before you move on to the next video, I want you to prove something to yourself. Don't just watch, act. Clear one drawer. Toss 5 papers. Remove 3 items from your closet. Do it today. And while you're here, prove to yourself that you're serious about change. Hit that subscribe button. Because if you can't take 5 seconds to subscribe, how will you ever take 5 minutes to declutter? This is your moment. Don't let it slip by. Stay with me, because next we're tackling lie 6, I'm too old to start decluttering now. And trust me, this one has kept far too many women stuck in guilt and overwhelm, when freedom is just one choice away. Lie 6, I'm too old to start decluttering now. This is one of the most heartbreaking lies I hear from senior women, because it quietly steals their peace and leaves them stuck. The thought goes something like this. At my age, why bother? It's too late to start now. I'll just leave things as they are. But here's the truth, it's never too late to create peace. This lie is powerful because it mixes age with limitation. Many women over 60 or 70 look around their homes and feel overwhelmed by decades of accumulation. They think, decluttering is for younger people. My time has passed. But what's really behind that thought? Often it's fear. Fear of not finishing. Fear of confronting old memories. Fear of not knowing where to start. And fear convinces them to sit still while the clutter grows. I once met a grandmother in her late 80s who lived alone in a cozy but crowded house. For years she told herself it was too late to declutter, that she'd let things be until her children handled it after she was gone. But one day, she decided to try. She started with just one drawer of old linens. then a shelf of dishes, then a box of papers. And little by little, her home began to breathe again. She told me something I'll never forget. I thought I was too old for this. But the truth is, I feel younger now than I have in years. Every bag I let go felt like shedding a weight I didn't know I was carrying. Her family noticed too. When her granddaughter visited, she said, "Grandma, your home feels so peaceful now. I love being here." It wasn't about age. It was about freedom. Psychologists remind us that clutter doesn't care about age. It affects the brain and body the same way whether you're 30 or 90. Clutter raises cortisol, the stress hormone. It increases decision fatigue. It even creates subtle feelings of failure, every pile whispering, "You never finished this." But here's the good news. Every little act of decluttering triggers the brain's reward system. Even at 70, 80, or 90, those small victories release dopamine, the feel-good chemical. It's like your brain saying, "Yes, you did it. Keep going." That's why many seniors who start decluttering report feeling lighter, calmer, and even more energetic. It's not just about space, it's about reclaiming life. So let me ask you, have you ever said, "It's too late for me"? If so, I want you to pause right here and challenge that thought. Because the truth is, you don't need to finish the whole house. You don't need to create a magazine-perfect space. You just need one win. One drawer. One shelf. One bag. Because here's the secret, every step counts, no matter your age. And if you begin today, you'll feel the difference today. So before you click away, prove to yourself that you're not too old to start fresh. And prove it to me, too. Hit that like button right now. Show yourself that age doesn't define your choices. You do. And stay with me, because next we'll tackle lie 7, this is part of who I am. This one is sneaky, because it ties clutter directly to identity, and breaking free from it can feel like a brand new chapter of life. Lie 7, this is part of who I am. This lie is powerful because it links clutter directly to identity. It sounds like this. I've always been a reader. I can't let go of my hundreds of books. I was a teacher, so of course I need all these papers. I've always loved fashion, so these clothes represent me. On the surface, it feels harmless. But underneath, this belief keeps women trapped in homes full of items they no longer use or love, because they think tossing them means tossing a part of themselves. Here's the truth. Possessions do not equal personhood. You are not the stacks of magazines you never read. You are not the hobby supplies you haven't touched in years. You are not the closet full of clothes that no longer fit your life. But when seniors tie identity to stuff, they carry emotional weight far heavier than the physical clutter. It's as if every unused item whispers, "This is who you used to be. You can't let me go." And slowly, instead of living fully in the present, they become curators of their past. I once met a retired nurse in her 70s. Her home office was filled with medical books, files, and supplies from decades ago. She told me, "I can't throw these away. Nursing was my life, it's who I am." But here's the catch, she had been retired for 15 years. She never opened those books anymore. They sat on the shelves, collecting dust, silently chaining her to an identity she no longer needed to prove. One day, with the encouragement of her daughter, she let them go. She donated the books to a training program for young nurses. And then she said something remarkable. "For the first time, I realized I'm not those books. I'm the care I gave, the lives I touched." Letting go didn't erase that, it made it shine brighter. Her office transformed into a light-filled art room, where she now paints with her grandchildren. She broke free from the lie that clutter defined her, and stepped into a new, joyful chapter of who she truly is today. Psychologists call this identity attachment. When we over-identify with possessions, we fear losing them because it feels like losing ourselves. But science also shows that identity is fluid, it grows and evolves. The truth is, you are not fixed to objects. You are a living, breathing story still being written. And the more you release what no longer serves your story, the more energy and joy you have to write the next chapters. So let me ask you, what's in your home right now that you're keeping because of who you were, not who you are? Is it clothes from a career you've already closed the door on? Is it books from hobbies you don't even enjoy anymore? Is it jewelry from events you'll never attend again? I want you to pause and reflect. If these things are no longer part of your life today, why should they take up space in your tomorrow? Here's a gentle challenge. Pick just one item tied to your old self. Thank it for the season it represented. Then let it go. Because who you are today, and who you're becoming, is more important than who you were decades ago. And if this truth resonates with you, show it with a simple step right now. Tap the like button. It's more than a click, it's you saying, I'm not my stuff. I am free to grow. Lie 8. Letting go means forgetting. This lie is perhaps the heaviest of them all, because it touches the heart. It sounds like this. If I throw away these birthday cards, will I forget my mother's love? If I donate my husband's old shirts, am I erasing his memory? If I let go of these souvenirs, will the story of that trip vanish forever? The emotional trap is powerful. Clutter disguises itself as memory. And many seniors keep piles of items out of fear that releasing them means betraying the people or moments tied to them. The truth is, memories do not live in objects. They live in you. Objects are reminders, yes, but they are not the source of the memory. When we keep too many reminders, the noise actually drowns out the precious ones. Instead of feeling love, you feel guilt. Instead of joy, you feel overwhelm. This is why so many older women walk into a room full of keepsakes and feel weighed down instead of uplifted. The lie tells them, if you let go, you'll forget. But in reality, the clutter itself is what's clouding the beauty of the memory. I once met a grandmother who had kept every card her late husband ever gave her. Decades of anniversaries, birthdays, holidays, boxes stacked high. She said, if I throw these away, I'll lose him. But when she tried something new, the legacy box, everything shifted. She chose one beautiful box and carefully selected just a handful of the most meaningful cards. She read each one, smiled, cried, and let the others go. She told me afterwards, I thought I'd feel emptier. But instead, I feel closer. Because now, when I open this box, I'm not drowning in paper, I'm holding love. That's the truth. Letting go doesn't erase the memory, it allows the memory to shine brighter. Neuroscientists explain that memory is strengthened by emotional recall, not by physical clutter. One meaningful photo, one handwritten note, one cherished ring can spark a flood of love far more powerful than dozens of forgotten trinkets. By curating instead of hoarding, you're not erasing your history, you're amplifying the story that matters most. So let me ask you, what's sitting in your home right now that you've kept only because you're afraid of forgetting? A pile of cards, boxes of souvenirs, shelves of clothes you'll never wear again. Here's a gentle challenge. Choose one category, just one. Pick the most meaningful piece and place it somewhere special. Then release the rest with gratitude. Because holding on to clutter does not keep love alive, you do. And if this truth stirred something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Comment below, what's the one sentimental item you're ready to release? Sharing it might be the encouragement another woman needs to finally let go, too. We've now walked through 8 lies that clutter whispers. I might need it someday. It was expensive, so I can't let it go. My kids or grandkids will want this. It's too sentimental to toss. I don't have time to declutter. I'm too old to start now. This is part of who I am. Letting go means forgetting. But here's the truth, every one of those lies is a chain. And breaking them doesn't just clear space in your home, it clears space in your heart, your mind, and your life. Decluttering isn't about loss. It's about reclaiming peace, joy, and freedom in this season of life. So here's my challenge to you. Which of these lies have you believed? Comment below and share your story. You might inspire another woman to break free.